Good afternoon to all of you fellow Zambians. Lelo tinao Kabwe, but as the day went on, we received very disturbing reports that we thought we would never hear. We had the police in Kabwe go and harass not only the former head of state, the 6th president of the Republic of Zambia, Dr. Edgar Lungu, but also the bishop for Kabwe, Bishop Mulenga. The reason they were being harassed is simply because President Edgar was in the office of the bishop with 3 other people. The policeman who came was not invited in. He forced his way into the room and was demanding that the meeting, courtesy meeting, could not go ahead. There was absolutely no reason for that. It was a peaceful meeting, a private meeting in a private space, not a public meeting in the public. Yet they found it fit to go and disrupt. I think that this shows that when we say that there is shrinking democratic space, there is so many instances such as this one which prove that indeed democratic space is shrinking in Zambia. I'll let my colleagues also make their comments and then I'll wrap up at the end.
It's been very unfortunate what we have been seeing of late when we have been talking about the Zambia Police Service turning into a Zambia police force. This is what we mean. At what point do we then stop this sort of behavior? Because this sort of behavior will spill over from the politicians. It will go down to the public, because now even the public will be stopped from doing what they need to do. As Zambians, we must not allow this. We can't go back to the days of UNIP when we had to account for every single movement that we did. That's not what we fought for in 1991. And collectively as Zambians, we must not allow this. Who gave that man the right to barge into an office and demand that the meeting be stopped? Does it mean that us politicians cannot move around freely? I was out of town recently and the OP were everywhere looking for me. For what? What are you looking for? And when you find me, what are you going to do once you see me? Why should you stop the meetings that we want to have? It is our right, according to the Constitution, to have meetings whenever and wherever we wish to have meetings. This must stop.
It's very unfortunate that such a thing is happening in Zambia at such a time as this. As a member of FUCA and president of Christian Democratic Party, we condemn in no uncertain terms this kind of harassment of the former president, President Edgar Lungu. First of all, Zambia is a democracy. We also have decided that have human rights. Even under the one-party state of President Kaunda, we never had such a thing where if you want to greet a bishop, because that's what the president did today, President Lungu, just to go and greet the Catholic Bishop, and it becomes an offense, and they are demanding that they should have notified the police or even got a permit, because that's what he was suggesting for a mayor greeting in a private office. This man had the courtesy, and I believe he's being encouraged by, let's call a spade, by not only his Inspector General, but by President Hakainde. Mr. President Hakainde, you were an advocacy for democracy. What has happened now? Because what we are seeing now has never happened in Zambia. It never happened to you. You, as an opposition leader, had the opportunity to go and meet anyone in Zambia, traditional rulers, business people, church people. You even had the opportunity to invite, hundreds of pastors to come and meet at your house, and you were never harassed like this. This is not only, the police should not be blamed. You should take responsibility yourself. This kind of harassment for former president or any of us political leaders is not acceptable. May the world know who you truly are, a dictator and a man who does not support democracy. We condemn your actions and what your police are doing, because this is not right. You know it is not right. May your donor friends, your Western friends or Eastern friends know who you truly are. A dictator, someone who doesn't stand for democracy. And Zambia is a democracy. But let me warn you, Mr. President, and your Inspector General, the Zambians are watching this. And we are not going to be cowed by such actions. We know what you have done for former president, you can do to any of us. But this is not acceptable. We are not going to be cowed from carrying out our work, such as visiting people, going to church, and worshiping the Lord, or going to different people. President Lungu has the right to meet whoever he wants. He has the right to travel in this country freely. He doesn't need to get permission from you, neither does he need to get permission from your police. Take warning, this is not right. The Zambians, the good things, the Zambians are watching. We are all watching. Thank you, Zambians, you have seen for yourselves.
I would like to add to what my two colleagues have stated, and I too would like to address President Hakainde. President Hakainde, a church is a place that should be respected.
Right.
There is absolutely no reason to send policemen into a church where there is no crime being committed. It makes me extremely sad to see what I saw, because it makes me believe that you and your government would do the same kind of things that happened in Rwanda. In Rwanda, police were being sent into churches. Militias were also being sent into churches, massacring people in churches, because those in leadership, those who were the ones making the militias go there, had no respect for the church. It makes me wonder, is this the reason why you have never ever attended any of the national prayer meetings yourself? It makes me now believe that the reason you never attend any of those is because you do not have a Christian faith.
That's right.
That can be the only reason. If indeed you do respect the church, I ask you, get on to public media immediately and condemn what happened this morning in Kabwe.
And fire that policeman. That policeman, if he's not commissioned by you, but we know you did it, he should be fired, removed for harassing the former head of state. He should be removed. And indeed, we call for the firing of Mr. Musamba, the Inspector General, because he's condoning such behaviors. That's right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Chair, what is your message to the church? We've seen increased harassment of the church, the Catholic Church. You're aware that a priest was summoned for inviting opposition political figures. We saw again another summoning earlier. We've also seen the police becoming extremely militant. What is the message as UKA to the church?
I think apart from the things that you have stated, we also saw an archbishop of the Catholic Church being referred to as a Lucifer by the top leadership of the UPND. We have never ever heard the president of this country apologize, let alone even retract those words which were stated about the Catholic Church and its leadership. It shows and confirms that these people have no feelings for the church. They have no love for the church. And my message to the Zambian people is that you have seen for yourselves. There can be no doubt you have seen with your own eyes. It's not me making some fanciful proposition or something. It is something you watched live. And so the Zambian people should make sure that we do not have a government which does not respect the church, which does not respect the constitution of Zambia, which does not respect merely having people sit down and discuss. You go and disrupt that.
President Chalakateka, you as UKA, you're on record having met various diplomats accredited to Zambia. We know that you've met the Russian ambassador, the British ambassador, as well as the EU. Recently, the British ambassador, Mr. Nicholas Woolley, was on ZNBC praising President Hakainde Hichilema and the UPND.
That's right.
For being democratic. What is your message to the international community, which are seemingly very quiet on the abuses of this administration? The Americans have come in with a very shy statement. The British ambassador is busy praising. The EU themselves, some of the ambassadors have voiced out. But largely, the diplomatic community has been quiet. What is your view?
It's very unfortunate that we have such a two-faced diplomatic corps where they decide to turn a blind eye to what is happening in the nation. We have seen a descending, the Zambia, the nation descending into a state where we have now become a police force, and the diplomatic corps is quiet about it. They have seen the shrinking democratic space, yet they decide to say something that is contrary. Nicholas Woolley is an absolutely shocking person in that he knows what is happening, but he decides to go and say something that is completely contrary. It would even have been better if he had kept quiet. And I saw somebody saying, you know, thank God this man is going, because we don't need such people around. We have seen that these are the people that helped this man to get into the presidency. And I suppose it's a bit difficult for them to swallow whatever it is that they did. But I think that it's not right to take the side of this current president against the people of Zambia, because that will not augur well with the people of Zambia. We are looking at, it's almost as though we are going to have to fight for freedom once again, which is not acceptable.
Before we come back to the chairperson, you have two events coming up.
That's right.
The rally in Mandevu.
That's right.
On 1st June. The police have sent you to town with their requirements.
Yes, yes.
What is your comment on that, Madam President?
Again, it's very shocking because the police have now decided to be the lawbreakers. They are the ones who are deciding that they can be made in the Constitution or in the Public Order Act. So for when we applied, we made sure that we gave them 3 weeks notice because their response is always security concerns. So we gave them adequate time so that they could address those concerns before the due date. What do
if indeed they are.
If they, yes. And then they decide to ask for a certificate of registration for the new heritage, but an original, not even a copy. They wanted the original, you know, copy of the certificate of registration. And yet, 2021, New Heritage Party participated in the general election, and also we've stood in a number of by-elections since then. If ECZ know that we are a bona fide, registered party, why would they be asking us for a registration certificate? So once that was done, they then decided, oh, we've got to come up with something else. Now they started to ask for, they wanted to know who would be speaker, who would be speaking at the rally. That's not their business. But anyway, we availed them that.
Is the rally going to take place?
The rally will definitely take place on the 1st in Mandevu at Chipata compound, ground.
What if the police says they don't have manpower?
We've got our own people who will be, our marshals who will be in that place.
So the Heritage Party members should be assured the rally will take place.
Should be assured that the rally is going on, because don't forget, when we write, we notify them, and all they require is they want to know the dates, they want to know the place, and the time. We've given them all of that, and we've given them ample time to prepare themselves.
If the police have shown that they can barge into the bishop's office, not any other ordinary church, the Catholic Bishop's office, is President Shalakateka prepared to be arrested together with the leaders of Heritage for them to fight for their freedoms?
Oh, we are. You see, if we don't do this, things can only get progressively worse for this nation. I think that we need to fight for our rights. This is something that mankind, the world over, always fight for their rights, and we are prepared to do that. And we are going to do that.
Dr. Pule, you are hosting the United Kwacha Alliance this Sunday for a special prayer service. You've seen what has happened to Bishop Mulenga in Kabwe. The police walked into his office, literally forcing their way in. Do you anticipate that scenario at Dunamis this Sunday?
I hope and pray that they will stay away from our normal church service. As a church, we are entitled to worship the Lord with whoever is available, politicians and non-politicians. One day I hope President Hakainde, although he's afraid of the presence of God and church, I hope one day he will come. Maybe he will send his vice president, and we shall publicize that. But we are very focused on praying for the church, for the nation. When these UKA presidents come, we shall pray for the nation. If it's against us praying for the nation, we will see. Let him send the police. We will know. The nation will know. But I trust that he's a wise man, and wise people know what to do. But having said that, these people are so undemocratic. You can't, you can't rule out the fact that they might want to interfere with the church service, an ordinary church service that will only have the flavor to, to welcome the entire UKA leadership to come and worship with us and pray for the nation.
Have you gotten a permit already? Do you need a permit for you to invite United Kwacha Alliance leaders? Do you need a permit? Please make that clear. Do you need a permit?
I do not need a permit
for a church service.
For a church service on Sunday morning, for that matter. Usual service beginning at 10 hours.
So the UKA leaders are welcome?
The UKA leaders are welcome. In fact, the UPND leaders are welcome. Mr. President, send some of your ministers to come and worship with us.
Wow.
If you can do that.
Let him come as well.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Indeed, yeah, you are welcome as well. In fact, it will be a very nice thing to welcome you to come and worship the Lord with us at Dunamis House of Prayer. It's number 8 Dan Pule Road, by the way, if you don't know. Next to ERP. Mr. President, just come. You don't need an invitation, but now I invite you officially to come and join the other political leaders. You have had no opportunity, I think, to worship the Lord with me and with President Lungu and the State Council, who is with me, and our coordinator. These are presidents. You are welcome as a presidential, as a president of the nation and president of the UPND. Feel free to come and worship the Lord. Or send as usual, Vanalumango, Vamayo. You are also welcome.
Or the second gentleman. The second gentleman.
And the second gentleman. Yes, indeed. I know they have been organizing meetings all over, by the way. And the police have never harassed them. They call meeting for pastors in different parts of the country. They go there. I will begin to travel as well. And they have never harassed them. So we invite you, all of you, political leaders, cabinet ministers, permanent secretaries, including the bank governor. You need the wisdom of God to help stabilize the economy as things, especially the Kwacha, as things are happening.
Chairperson, there are some members of the United Kwacha Alliance who are feeling that you are not being forceful enough to help to face this regime. What is your word to your own members who are feeling that you need to be forceful? It seems some of your members want you to fight with the police. They want you to fight with the current administration. What is your message?
Thank you very much for that question. I think that generally my disposition and the way I talk is in a calm manner. So that is mistaken to be that I'm somebody who does not want confrontation. I'm very sure, in fact, that today a lot of people are surprised. I was surprised myself as to the tone in which I was talking earlier on. I think I saw my colleague, President Kateka, look sharply at me when I was raising my voice. And that is because what they have done is so outrageous, absolutely outrageous. And I can assure you that we are not going to allow outrageous things to carry on. We are going to be fighting for the Zambian people. It is so outrageous that I want to write to High Commissioner Woolley and the British government to ask them to clearly state whether when they are praising President Hakainde and the UPND, they are saying that they feel it is okay for the police to barge into a bishop's office to stop people meeting, whether the Woolley and the British government feel that it is okay to be summoning priests to the police merely because they have met with politicians, whether Woolley and the British government feel it is okay to stop somebody from merely walking on his own in town to buy tomatoes, whether Woolley and the British government feel it is okay to be summoning journalists who have merely reported on issues, whether Woolley and the British government feel it is correct, as they did to IP when he was in Kabwe, forcing journalists to erase and delete things that they've done, whether they feel that that is increasing democratic space. I'm going to pen a letter asking for them to officially state whether that is what they feel is okay.
You certainly should do that.
Lastly,
we
Chair.
probably should sign that letter together as SUCA presidents.
Yes. Lastly, Chair, there are those who think amongst our people that the treatment that the UPND are churning out to the opposition is justified, and that them, the Zambian people, are safe. So as long as these things are happening to the opposition, it's okay. The Zambian people are safe. What is your comment on that?
I think that...
are there any examples of ordinary Zambians going through, what you are calling shrinking democratic space?
There's lots of examples of that. But before I get into that, I would like to remind the people to look back in history. Look at Nazism and Nazi Germany. You had the Nazis go after, first of all, perhaps the socialists, and then everybody said, oh, no, it's just
That's fine.
That's fine. It's not me. It's those people. They went against another group and said, no, that's not us, that's them. Until finally, basically, everybody was being harassed by the Nazis. Not only harassed, they even started exterminating people. Now, you Zambians if you are going to take that attitude of saying, it's just the opposition, it's not me, you're next in line. You're next in line.
Right.
So before you come to the front of the line, join hands with us to stop what is happening. It is not right. And it is happening not only to opposition members. Look at that lady on the copper belt, I believe on the copper belt somewhere, in Dollar, who was selling Eagle mealie meal. She was selling at a price she thought would be the correct price.
In a free market.
In a free market.
Liberalized economy.
Liberalized economy. She had not stolen
with far-right government.
Yes. She had not stolen that mealie meal. No, she hadn't. And you had a high-ranking officer from Zambia National Service go in there, harass her, and take away her goods. No seizure notice, no receipt given to her to say this has been taken from you for this or that reason. If you are to claim it, this is where you come. And I can assure you that that mealie meal which was taken has not been accounted for even in the ZNS books. I challenge that they actually tell us how many bags they took, because it wasn't only in that store. They went to several stores and took how many they took, where those bags are, and under which law. They actually went and seized those goods. That lady should go and sue the state. And I hope that the Attorney General and the Solicitor General will enter into a consent order with her.
Are you willing to represent her in court?
I am willing to
Thank you.
represent her in court.
Any last words on the question, the last question as you conclude?
Yes.
Are you done, Chair?
No, there's one more thing I wish to state.
Yes.
That it seems that the President Hakainde and UPND are perfect marksmen. They are perfect marksmen because with everything that they do, they never miss from shooting themselves in the foot.
I'll start with concluding remarks. Specific examples of Zambians who think the opposition, this is politics. Politics is supposed to be dirty. So if the opposition are being harassed by the ruling party, it's okay. As the Zambian people, we are safe. Is there any example, Dr. Apostle Danpole, you can cite of ordinary Zambians being harassed as well?
Well, I was harassed myself.
Yes.
Okay, maybe you think I'm not ordinary. I am. Right?
You are opposition.
Opposition. I was about to hold a press briefing in Choma, and the police came and stopped our press briefing that we should have notified them. I said it has never happened. I've gone all over the country to hold press briefings, and no police officer ever stopped us. Anyway, they had to go. I said, you let them know that if they stop me, they are going to campaign for me. They will publicize this. Anyway, they chickened out, and after an hour or so of delay, they let us continue with our program. But besides that, I want to comment further on Mr. Oli. Mr. Oli, you are listening, and I'm sure your staff will watch this. You are a disgrace to international diplomacy. You are anti-Zambian. You don't support the democracy of Zambia because you have been seeing all these things happening. How dare you commend President Hakainde for democracy when you are seeing that they are applying the Public Order Act with impunity, which in a way that even the colonial powers, like you were, our colonial powers never applied it. You persecuted the Zambians, our freedom fighters. And now you can come now, after our independence, and say there is democracy here. You are a disgrace, and I'm glad if what I've heard that you are going, it will be a good thing that you leave this country. But I believe that the British government does not support you. That, I hope that you will be retired once you get back there.
Dr. Pule has intimated that he would love to stay on after his diplomatic tour of duty. he loves Zambia so much, so he would love to stay on as a, well, I don't know whether he's a citizen or...
Yeah, we don't support your stay here.
No,
You
but
need to go back.
let me give him a warning. If he comes here to stay here, he will not have diplomatic immunity there. So the police will be coming and harassing him like they're harassing Zambia. He will not have that diplomatic immunity.
Indeed, well, you know, that just remember government is going to change in 2026. And at that time, your blue-eyed Bali will not be there. So we warn you. And I hope that you have seen for yourself today what has happened to President Lungu and Bishop Mulenga in the Archdiocese of Kabwe, the lead of the Catholic Diocese of Kabwe. That harassment, that interference to a private meeting. Can you call that democracy, Mr. Uli? Mr. Hakainde, can you call that democracy? I believe that you are wise people. You should know that things are so clear. Zambians are watching. The international community is watching, and I believe that it's in your interest to amend. I hope you are now going to issue another statement that there is no democracy in Zambia, especially before you go away, Mr. Uli. Thank you so much.
Madam President, a number of people have been arrested with regards to tribalism or hate speech. And these are perceived to be supporters of the opposition. One has been incarcerated in Kalomo, if I'm not mistaken. One also should be Mazabuka or Livingston. But we've also seen members of the UPND coming in very strong. Case in point, Council Chairperson for Kafue, Minister of Education, said a tribal remark against the members. What is the stance of UKA on such matters? We've seen Dr. Chimbaka
stated, and to emphasize that what it means is that we do not have the rule of law in this country. What we have is the rule of man, the rule of one man. And that one man is Hakainde Hichilema. That one man does not listen to anybody else because he feels he knows it all. He feels that he can make up rules as he goes along. That's why he can even decide without a vote in parliament to say he's going to be paying former vice presidents because it's the rule of man, of that one man. That is what we must stop in this country. We must bring back the rule of law.
That's right.
UKA leaders, thank you very much. Any word to President ECL, who was harassed? Any word?
President ECL, the whole leadership of UKA is with you. And it is not only the leadership of UKA which is with you. The nation has seen what has happened, and all well-meaning Zambians are with you, and I wish you all the best. And all of them have seen the terrible, terrible injustice that was being perpetrated.
Yes.
Thank you very much.